going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about why I'm sticking with the Canon R and not upgrading to the Canon R5 or the R6. And these are just my reasonings behind why I'm sticking with the Canon R and not upgrading. So let's jump into it. My personal uses for the Canon R camera is I'm shooting mainly photos, a little bit of video here on YouTube, as well as vertical video for platforms such as like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and everything along those lines. I'm giving you a little bit of the background of the content that I personally do. Let's first talk about 8K video and RAW video recording. These are absolutely mind-blowing features in such a small form factor, but in my personal application, I wouldn't be using any of these. Like, I'm not gonna shoot RAW video for an Instagram story because that's just, I would say, overkill. Same thing with 8K, that would be absolutely mind-blowing. And those just slow down the workflow. Like, I'm shooting this video right now in 1080 and then upscaling it to 4K. So 4K full frame would be ideal, but with 8K and RAW video, it's just gonna slow down my workflow, and I don't even think my computer, my laptop, would be able to handle 8K or RAW video recording, so I would have to buy a new laptop. My computer would explode, hands down. The Canon R also doesn't have any of the video overheating issues that the Canon R5 and R6 have. Like, yes, the Canon R5 and R6 have 4K full frame and all these other raw video, 8K for the R5 and all these other video features, including IBIS. But in my personal opinion, if I'm out on a shoot and I'm shooting something that's once in a lifetime and you can't go back and recreate these shots, I don't want to wait for the camera to cool down because it overheated, because I'm shooting too much content all at once. And I've never had an issue with the Canon R. It's never stuttered, it's never hiccuped, it's never had any type of issues in the year that I've owned this camera. I've never had any issues with it. It's never overheated once. That's just for me. I honestly put full faith in this camera, which right now I can't put into the Canon R5 or R6. Hopefully Canon comes out with a firmware update that addresses this, and maybe the camera doesn't overheat in the future, maybe in like 2-3 months, maybe next week from the time that I'm currently making this video, that Canon drops a firmware and these issues are no more. But until then, I personally think the Canon R is the best option for the money, especially for the price. Like, if you want the R6, you're gonna spend an extra $1,000, and if you want to get the R5, you're spending double and a little bit more than the Canon R. You can essentially get 2 Canon R cameras for the price of 1 Canon R5. And in my opinion, that's just craziness. That's crazy talk to me, especially because I don't think the Canon R5 offers double the quality. So as I mentioned, I mainly shoot photos, so the Canon R6 wasn't really my vibe because it only has 20 megapixels. The Canon R has 30 megapixels, which I find is a pretty good middle ground. And the Canon R5 coming in at 45 megapixels, I would love to have this, but for the extra 15 megapixels, I can't really justify the price tag being double as expensive as the Canon R. So I think the 30 megapixels are a perfect middle ground, in my opinion. The Canon R is still an absolutely amazing camera. I'm gonna be sticking with this camera for the next foreseeable future until at least the next iteration of the Canon R comes out, or the R5 Mark II comes out, or whatever that is that Canon releases next. Unless they figure out the overheating issues. The Canon R5 and R6 seem to be not fully public release. It kind of gives me a feeling of like a beta release for the camera. I don't know if that even makes sense to you. It kind of makes sense to me. It's kind of like it's a pre-release version for a camera or an update that's going to be released in the future to fix these issues, because in my mind, like, the overheating issue is a huge issue, and it's kind of weird that Canon would release a camera with these issues. That's all I have for this video. If you did like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and until the next video, peace.